Hello, thank you so much for coming to the Sashiko Live Streaming. This is Atsushi. This is the live streaming where I talk about Sashiko while doing the Sashiko stitching. This is not a lecture, this is not a tutorial, this is not a webinar, stuff like that. So I will not answer the question about techniques or something that I have to stop stitching. Instead, if I can stitch and talk about, if the question is about some stories or histories or culture, which I can talk while stitching, I am happy to answer those questions. All right, well, next week I'll be in Japan around this time, so this is going to be the final live streaming on Thursday in November. Yes, this was the first one, but this will be the last one too. I will not be able to do that next week or after that. So next time I will see you is going to be in December. So before that, let me mention two things about more like announcement. I am the list for the schedule for the 2025. Sorry, the schedule of my workshop for 2025 is available online right now. So if you'd like to take my workshop in person, please check that link from the description area. Also, I will decide when will be the exact time for us to have the Sashiko Japan tour 2025, Retreat 25. It's gonna be somewhere in November, probably October, not gonna be in December 2025. But if you are interested in that, please check the description area, and if you could leave the Google form registration, you will receive the email first when we decide that. Yeah, it's all about Japan tour for Japan retreat from now on. So Instagram, here, YouTube, I will try to upload as many photos and videos as possible. At the same time, some of the videos, photos are kind of, not many people are happy to be in public. And that's another reason that I take this tour. Not everybody is happy to be shown, to be seen. So for that purpose, I will get a specific permission for them to show me, specific permission for me to introduce them on a specific platform. And that will be a very good help for me and for the sustainable tour or retreat for the future to have your support as well. So if you like to, I summarize what is the support page is like. So if you could check the description area once again, that'd be really appreciated too. All right, those are the three announcements that I had to make. Now I will just switch the camera to stitch with you for the one last time in November. Okay. Yeah, so I feel bad that I cannot offer this live streaming as ibasho, a place to stitch together for this coming 3 weeks. But this is very, very important for me to keep offering this Sashiko retreat, the Sashiko tour, because it's one way to Instagram or YouTube is one way to leave something behind. I hope that this video is going to be somewhat archived for the future. I cannot speak today. Future generations. But Sashiko Japan tour or retreat is for us, for those who live today, and I probably offer pretty much everything I have in that. I mean, I usually offer everything I have in the workshop, but that's what I have. In the tour or retreat, that's gonna be something I can think of, including the networks that I have. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, and for me, I feel a little bit of stressed, but not a little bit, a lot stressed. Wow, I'm so sweating again. But yeah, I will share as many photos, videos as possible. But I cannot believe it. Did I say that I'm kind of afraid of going back to Japan? I am scared of going back. I probably mentioned that somewhere on the blog, but I don't know if I mentioned that in the live streaming. It is a little bit of I don't know how to say it. It's a little bit of how can I put this one? It's a little bit of it's a fear, it's the worry, it's anxiety, it is everything, but probably fear is the first thing I have right now. Korean dramas fighting, maybe so. Oh, I mentioned that? Okay, so I don't have to re-mention that. It's I really don't want to go. I will go. And I will be very, very happy when I'm there. I hope. But at this moment, to be honest, I don't want to go. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a very, very good. It's something I can offer right now at this moment. At the same time, nothing will happen. Nothing bad will happen. And, that's something based on what happened a long time ago. And I know that it's not gonna happen again, but it's difficult to control, I guess. But yeah. So today I might be a little bit quiet more than usual. But one thing I can promise, not a promise, one thing I can, the one thing I strongly believe is that if I can photo shoot, if I can film it well, and I hope my daughter will be a good help for that. It will be the week for us to surprise the world once again. Not once again, maybe for the first time. How can we bribe you to bring back manga? Bribe? You can ask me. I don't mind having one manga in the suitcase, I guess. Or you can ask my daughter. Yeah. Because Sashiko has become something different that I know from what I know. And you hear, for those who are watching my live streaming or who try to learn Sashiko, the way we practice, it's not probably a big surprise. But for those who do not know what Sashiko is or who get to come to understand what Sashiko is fairly recently, and if their resource is only the books written in other language besides Japanese, then it will be something that they can be very, very, very surprised. Some may be surprised that Sashiko is different from what they know, and some other may be surprised that the Sashiko they see this in this exhibition is something that is already gone in the history. And it is more than that, in my understanding. Sashiko is also known as the sort of a lonely work. It has to be. It's kind of lonely work, right? Like you do everything by yourself, especially for the stitching. And that's something I'm trying to change. So from many aspects, I hope that it's not a hope. I believe that this will be one great opportunity for us to explain the difference between the Sashiko they practice, and the Sashiko introduced in English. So, oh my. Well, that comes with a little bit of pain, I guess. Pain of me jumping over some difficulties. But yeah, I'm pretty sure and happy that I can film a lot of videos, especially because my daughter will be there. I hope that she will, not a hope, we practice to take videos together, so I hope that she will help me out. This anxiety is something. I don't know if you have the anxiety issues, but I cannot shake it off. It's kind of like OCD, I guess, obsessive compulsive disorder, I guess. It's something really specific on that. Yeah, my daughter, I hope that she's gonna be a young film director. Probably not that much. We practice, but if she finds something else, probably she might jump there. Well, no, that's not okay. This is the field trip for her to learn the something of her heritage. Yeah, I didn't have a choice. Back then, I didn't have a choice to not to take her. At this point, I do have a choice, so I have a choice to not to take her and then do my job by myself. But when I decided to offer last January, so almost 10 months ago, that wasn't a choice. Life changes, and you know, I'm happy to take her, but it's also a little bit of stress in many directions. You know, she has to skip school for that long, which I believe that we got the not a believe, we got a permission, we got a permission to do so. But it's a little, how can I say, unorthodox, little bit not abnormal. I don't want to say abnormal, not usual thing, extraordinary things to do. So but yeah, it's gonna be a very good time to stitch together. See, when I have a lot of anxieties, I don't have much to talk. It might be boring. I don't know how much of the story I have to talk when I don't have any questions. I usually have a lot of time to think about what I say, what I write, what I feel. I have a time. I have a not a more like I have a space to wiggle a little bit. to face to what I feel, what I say, what I write, what I read. But when the anxiety takes over, everything is try to fix that anxiety. So nothing really nothing matters besides that fear. And I know it's not healthy. I know it's not really healthy, but I cannot do that. So this week I'm not probably doing much of it, and I don't have much to talk today too. So it's really good to have a time to stitch together, especially those times that I don't have much to talk about. I cannot, I cannot focus on what to talk. Any question, throw me the question so that I can focus on your question. When I have a question, probably I can focus on that, so I don't have to find a topic to talk about. I really don't like to be this kind of weak. I don't want to consider this as a weakness, and I do not consider this as a weakness if somebody else has it. But I feel it's the kind of weakness I have. So all I can think of right now is like that. Last week was a little bit okay. It was not that realistic. This week is very realistic. So extremely realistic. I'm not gonna shake at this moment, but I will shake at some point. I will start shaking my... It's so unhealthy. I have it too. Sashiko is helping, but it is also procrastination. Stitching instead of doing things I need to. And that's a good way to put it. This is a good way to procrastinate. It really clears. Well, that's actually not a clear. It postpone. It helps me to not to face to the fear. At the same time, facing the fear itself is not always a good thing to do because, there's nothing we can do to get rid of the fear much. There might be something we can do, but there isn't so many options to get rid of it. So it is actually a very useful or helpful way to live with it. And I'm glad that Sashiko is being part of your everyday for that. Still. What kind of food your daughter likes to eat in Japan? Oh, thank you so much for the kind of question. I will change my brain. That's a very good question. So my wife is vegetarian, and when we make so-called sushi, no fish or no meat. So my daughter says she likes sushi, but it's usually the mushroom and avocado. Because of that, I want her to try even kaiten sushi. Belt conveyor sushi is fine, but I want her to try to have raw fish a little bit. I don't know if she likes it or not. But besides that, I think everything sweet from the convenience store will be her dream to have. Starbucks in Japan. Does she like wagashi? That's a good question. I don't know. She likes red bean paste because I make them a lot. Yes, probably taiyaki may be a good things to offer. Yeah, the red bean paste, she did not like it for the first time, but because I keep making those, she kind of had to get it used to it, and then now she enjoyed that. And I usually make the ampan bread. It's the bread with the red bean paste in it, and I make it a few times a month, every once in a while. So she will enjoy that in Japan. Yeah, taiyaki is a good idea. I'll take her that. Mochi is a bit unknown. I think mochi is another Japanese word transformed quite dramatically. And in my daughter's understanding, mochi is the ice cream wrapped with some sticky or elastic, do we call elastic? Sheet of some rice, right? If that is the what she wants to have, I think she will like that. But it's quite cold in Japan, so I don't want to offer the ice cream too much. Although there are that kind of ice cream in the convenience store or anywhere, so that's one way. But I want her to try the actual mochi too, though. I don't know if she likes it or not. But that's gonna be. I don't have much. I always have dream to eat things, but I usually do not feel. This is really sad thing about. So I have so many things that I would like to eat in Japan, but when I'm in Japan, because of that kind of stress or anxiety, I cannot eat as much as I eat here. That's so sad. It is one of the things that I really don't like about this anxiety. Last time I was there, of course I enjoyed some meals, but still, I would have eaten more if my stomach was a little healthier. You don't want to get sick during that kind of trip. Yeah, my daughter is probably excited. I don't see her that much difference now, but well, I probably see her the difference. I'm sorry, that was a lie. I think I see her the difference. She now finally started learning some Japanese. So she is kind of feeling that it's happening. And I hope that this tour is going to be a little bit of kind of like a encouragement for her to keep learning the language. I mean, she used to speak until 2 years old. I only talked to her in Japanese, so her pronunciation is quite good. It's just a matter of continuous trying. When she was 2.5, I broke down. I completely broke down, and I completely broke down as the stay-at-home father. And first, I had a so kind of messed up. It's kind of messed up idealism, which is quite wrong if I think of it right now. But I did not want to send her to the daycare until 3 years old, no matter what. So I said that I will take care of her in the house until 3 years old. And it was pretty close to the 3 years old, but about 2.5, my body kind of couldn't take it any longer. So it was actually a good thing because she enjoyed the daycare, and ever since we are choosing to give her the opportunity to socialize. But yeah, we are kind of strange family, I guess. We have a trust issues, I guess. I don't know why I'm talking about my family this much, but one thing we kind of feel very strange about is like babysitter. We have never had any babysitter for her entire life. Either one of us is always with her. So we chose not to have the like dinner going out by asking babysitter to take care of the baby. I mean, right now we can do that if we choose to because she sometimes go to the play date, sleepover. There's a many way to be alone. But back then, although we had a choice to use the babysitter, it's a very I have a friend, he's Japanese and she's Mexican, they can speak 3 languages. Sora. Yeah, I think it's their choice and I respect. Ooh, now the oldest goes to Japanese school after regular school a couple times a week. That's hard. But that's their choice and I respect that. At the same time, I really don't like those people who say that, well, you should teach your kids your language because it's a privilege for the kids to have the not a foreign parents, but the parents with a different language. It's good for their brain and blah blah blah. Sure, that is probably so. But usually the people who say that don't speak the second language. Those who went through that do not really make those comments. So I understand that if it's from the actual person, like let's say that those who went to who went through the trilingual or bilingual childhood, and if they appreciate their kids, that's great. But usually those people who makes that kind of comments, you should raise the kid with several languages. Those are the people who don't speak several language. Even so, even if they do, I kind of don't believe in that, to be honest, because I did not speak English at all until the age of 19. I knew some English, I guess. And my wife also went through a lot of language transition, so it is never too late to learn the second language. So actually this is our very how can I say that, mindful decision. So we decided to the completely opposite. So it says it is fun to listen to the kids talking mixed English, Japanese, and Spanish. We did not want to do that specifically. I'm not judging their parents. That's their choice, and I respect that. But we decided that it's not a good idea to have 4 languages mixed in the family of 3. If we involve the parents of my wife or my parents, that's a different story. But we had only 3, and especially that was the COVID. and we needed something to hold on together, and we decided that English is the language we will keep using no matter what. And we wanted her to have the exact, like, the language to sort of lean onto. And that's something I'm really, really happy about, to be honest. Like, I do have a quite good, I don't want to say I'm very good at Japanese, but I think I am good at Japanese for that matter. I can read a lot. I can think in Japanese better. I can probably communicate better in Japanese. And that level of language is quite important, and that wouldn't be possible if I were to be bilingual when I was a very, very little kid. I don't know. I never had the opportunity to be bilingual in the childhood, but that was more like a mindful decision for us to focus on one language so we don't mix up things, and we will not have any misunderstanding. Because of the language, we can have a lot of misunderstanding. So I hope that this tour is a good opportunity for my daughter to open up that. But there's a one exception for this scenario. If she said that she wants to learn the different language, that's a different story. It's her choice, and then I as a parent, I respect that. And what I'm talking about is the parent's decision to what is the priority. So we are waiting for her to find another language that she wants to learn. Or actually, I don't mind if she's only okay with Japanese. I mean, only okay with English. I'm okay with that. If she can master the English, that's a great thing for me. Well, I mean, she might be upset. She might be sad about this decision in the future. You don't know, but I have a very, very strong respect for those who become parents per se. At the same time, every time I see those parents who have their parents to help them, I feel very sort of jealous for that matter. And again, it is our choice. It is our choice to come to here, and then it is our choice to not to have those support. So it is perfectly, I'm not complaining about it, but I sometimes wish that what if we had our parents or family for that matter, any family to be around to be the help of this family. It's really good at sometimes not healthy. It wasn't healthy, especially under the COVID. It wasn't really healthy because that was always about three of us. And I think there are many, many families like that too. It's really much like a nuclear family. It's like ultimate form of a nuclear family. And that's one thing like a immigrant's family may have to go through. Maybe she will become a Trekkie and learn Kyogen. I don't know what language and what country is that, but yeah, maybe. I don't mind. She likes the Greek god right now, so who knows what language she needs to be good at that. Greek. But yeah, like language is something. Like I keep saying that, and I hope it's not really offending anybody, but language is just a matter of commitment. Just a matter of commitment Of course, there's a, you know, I don't want to say talent. I think there are some level of adjustment or easiness for those who has, let's say, high IQ or good memories or, so many things. But after all, it's depends on how much you use the time on that. So when I hear that somebody teaching Sashiko and they say like, well, I don't have time to study Japanese. It's so difficult language, so I don't have to speak Japanese. I feel like it's just a lack of commitment. So it's excuse. If they are going to promote themselves as the master or so like expert in that culture, I believe that language is something they have to go through. And if they say they don't have that much time, then they probably shouldn't teach or do that. But I wasn't good at language, but I had to speak language. I had to speak this language. And one doesn't have to have a perfect language skill or something. Just, as long as they can communicate, that's great. So, I don't know if this is going to be the time for my daughter to make a big commitment. But let's see. Plus, this is her heritage. The things she's gonna see as stitching is her heritage, so it's gonna be a quite big challenge there. I will probably stop after this much thread. It's really early, finishing early. I'm sorry that it's finishing early, but I guess my brain is not here too much today, so well, which is good, that I can do Sashiko stitching more, but I will take a little bit of short break here and then come back on the next this coming December to restart the Sashiko Live streaming. Well, I hope that economy is going to be a little bit better by the time. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but I can tell that economy is pretty declining at this moment. It's my business side of Sashiko is having quite difficult time right now. And I think that, inflation is one of those. I did not increase the price much, but if the prices for the necessaries such as food, or any other things, the necessary things, even rent, of course, if those goes up, then the money they can spend on the Sashiko leisure or crafting goes down. So it's really it's a very, very basic rules of economy. So if things changes, if they can have a little bit of like allowance, some might come back to the Sashiko, and I hope that next year will be one of those years to return, which I don't know. I have a pretty big doubt that might happen or not, but it is good to have a hope. Well, at this moment, I don't have to have another job to make ends meet. At the same time, I don't mind that. I was preparing for that. Like only 7 years ago. Actually, a little shorter than that. Only 5 years ago, I started not looking for job to support the family. 2019, I was still thinking about getting another job. Yeah, because it wasn't sustainable back then. So it's not those 5 years. Last 5 years were a little different for me, but I hope that this continues so that it's like a balance. 5 years ago, I did not know that Sashiko was this changing. But right now, I see the change and I start feeling like this is my mission to do. Not like work or hobby. It's more like my mission to not to lose what it is. For that, I have to balance that. On the one side, I don't mind doing another job to make ends meet. At the same time, I would like to have enough time to keep speaking up. Otherwise, those who try to make money, not money, but the profit out of Sashiko's are gonna win to repaint the culture. So it's really difficult. If it's really difficult. If I focus on making money, it's probably possible to do it, but then I will have to change some of the culture of what I do, which is the least things I would like to do. Like if I start focusing on money, what I say will be a little bit different. For example, I will start defining the answer very clearly. So, yeah, I think there will be more value in the mending. If tariff makes clothing more expensive, yeah, that could be the one. Yeah. Then the Japanese, then probably I have to increase my. Yeah, that's a possibility, right? That's right. Then I may have to increase the pricing. That percent is gonna go on the, you know, all of my items I sell are from Japan. Not all, almost all items are from Japan, and others are made in the U.S. So if the tariff goes up, wow, that's gonna be a big decision. Yeah, we have to adjust it. We will adjust it. Everything is going to be okay. I'm not really worried about it. It's just the time and this keep offering this type of opportunity, like a gathering and also exhibition in Japan. One day, I really believe that things turn around. We are ready to surprise the world. Okay. Yeah, it's only 45 minutes. I apologize for the short live streaming for today. But as you can tell, my brain is kind of shutting down. It's a little too late. I mean, I still live in my. Hmm? Wait, no. Yeah, I still live in the summertime, so I think my brains are kind of fogged. And then I will have a jet lag next week. Well, anyway, really thank you for coming to the live streaming, and I will be back next December, this coming December, for the another restart of live streaming. I will not have any live streaming starting next week, so for 3 weeks we will not have the Thursday live streaming. Instead, I will update as much as photos and videos possible here on Instagram, and more on the Patreon, as well as the other support pages that it's on the description area. All right, I will see you next December, next time, and I hope you have a good night, and I will see you. I cannot say I will see you in Japan, but I will show you the things I'm gonna be in Japan. All right, have a good night. Bye bye. Thank you so much. Bye.